Hey guys, your Tech Admin here, and today we're taking a look at not one, but two old Dell Inspiron laptops. Over on the left, I've got the Dell Inspiron 3800, and on the right, I've got the Dell Inspiron 4000. Both of these laptops were released in the year 2000 for over $1,000 each, which I think is a bit crazy considering both of them also only have Intel Celeron processors. Let's take a look at the 3800 first. Alright, so here is the Dell Inspiron 3800 in all of its glory. I think it is actually the better looking of the two laptops. Over on the left side, we have a Xircom modem and network card. Then in the center there, we have the hard drive door and a speaker on the right side. In the front, we've got the battery on the left side and the optical drive on the right. Over on the right side, we've got another speaker, audio jacks, a TV out, and an air intake. Around the back is where most of the business is. We've got a fan, VGA port, parallel port, docking connector, USB 1.0 port, PS2 port, serial port, and a proprietary power jack. Oh, and also infrared there on the far right. Quick note about the Xircom card here in the 3800 is there because the 3800 has neither a built-in modem or Ethernet jack. So if you wanted any sort of outside connectivity aside from something like parallel or serial, you had to have one of these, and that's probably why we found it with one installed in the slots already. Let's open her up and have a look inside. So we've got a fairly small LCD display with quite large bezels, especially compared to its brother, the 4000. The keyboard actually feels quite nice to type on, and it does sport a trackpad even though it is absolutely tiny. Both of these laptops shipped with Windows 2000 installed, but they came in configurations with Windows 2000, Windows NT 4.0, or Windows 98, and there you can see again that Intel Celeron. This particular laptop has a nice texture to all this plastics. It's even on the lid here, and I really like that. I think it's a bit better than the way the plastic was done on the 4000. If we boot it up, this particular laptop actually does still hold a charge and works. So here we are in setup, and we can see some of the specifications. This particular model has the Celeron 700 megahertz with 128 kilobytes of level 2 cache. We've got 128 megs of RAM, an ATI M1 8 megabyte video card, an ESS Maestro 3 audio controller, a 10 gigabyte hard drive, and of course the CD-ROM drive. There you can see the service tag at the bottom. Unfortunately, no matter what I do, I can't seem to get these service tags to pull up any information on Dell's website. I don't know if they've purged older service tags at this point or if there's just an issue at the moment, but I can't get that to work. Alright, let's move on and take a quick look at the Inspiron 4000. The styling on this one, while similar to the 3800, is definitely a lot more bubbly and rounded. Even the logo is round instead of square like on the 3800. Taking a look over on the left side, we have PC card slots again, and then a hard drive caddy, and then a speaker. In the front, again, we've got the battery on the left and a CD-ROM drive on the right. On the right side, we have the speaker, the IR sensor, audio ports, built-in modem and network jacks, as well as S-video out. On the back, we've got the majority of the ports here. In order, we have serial, parallel, proprietary docking connector, PS2, USB 1.0, VGA, and again, that proprietary power jack there on the right. Opening up, the latching mechanism on the 4000 is much worse than the mechanism on the 3800 because it's really hard to operate one-handed. You actually have to press this little button in, and it can be hard to lift the lid while pressing that button. Whereas the one on the 3800 was more of a slider, which can be operated easily with one hand. Alright, looking at the inside, we've got a much better LCD display on the 4000. You can see there's much less of a bezel going on here. Overall, besides that, the keyboard is pretty similar, although the layout is a little different, and we've got pretty much the same exact trackpad, and of course we've got the same exact Windows and Intel Celeron stickers as the 3800. Unfortunately, the battery on the 4000 is completely dead, so we're going to have to plug it in for the boot up here. We'll boot into setup real quick and take a look at these specifications. Alright, here we are in the BIOS for the Inspiron 4000. We have, again, a Celeron 700 MHz with 128 kilobytes of level 2 cache. We've got 128 megs of RAM, an ATI M3 8 megabyte card. I believe that's a little better than the M1 that's in the 3800. We have another ESS Maestro 3 audio controller and only a 500 gigabyte hard drive. And again, of course, we got the CD-ROM drive, and there is the service tag at the bottom. I can also not get that one to work on Dell's website, so I don't know what's going on with that. Looking at these laptops from the bottom, you can see again some of the design similarities and differences. You can see you got the modular base for the CD-ROM drive and the battery and other accessories on the front of both of these. But other than that, they've got quite a few differences, with these doors being quite different on each one, and this one actually being quite scratched up. There you can see the product key for both of these. So if anybody wants to copy those, feel free. I'm not going to use them for anything. And here's the other one over here. Focus, there you go. So if anybody wants to copy that, you can just pause and copy those down. That's cool with me. Other than that, not much going on. Taking a quick look at these modular bays that are on the bottom of both the 3800 and the 4000. These could both be switched with different peripherals. So at the moment, both of these have a CD-ROM drive and a battery, but you could of course switch in 2 batteries or a CD-ROM drive or a floppy disk drive, or there may have been a few others, but these switches on the bottom, and it's kind of the same on both. You just pull these little levers over and this slides out. It's kind of hard to do one-handed, but you would pull this one over and then pull the accessory out, and this one as well. That's kind of the way that worked. Alright, so here they are both booted up, and you can definitely tell a difference in the displays between these two. It's amazing that these were released in the same year at the same time. The 3800 looks so much older with its big thick bezels, and the 4000 looks a lot more modern with those thinner bezels. Unfortunately, there's an issue with the 4000. I don't know if you can see it, but the colors are kind of off and not displaying correctly. It's not really coming across really well in the camera, but there's definitely something wrong with the display. When I got this machine, it had Windows XP on it, so I thought that may have been the issue, so I reinstalled Windows 2000 on it. But unfortunately, the issue persists. I don't know if it's just down to a dying graphics adapter or if there's some damage to the LCD. So that's a bit unfortunate on the case of the 4000. Looking at the 3800, the display is fine, but it came with Windows 2000 on it, and because it's from my workplace, I don't actually have the password to get into it. So bonus video, if you're interested, I'm going to do a time lapse of installing Windows 2000 on this particular laptop. So that's really it for the 3800 and the 4000. Both of these are pretty neat laptops. They're about 19 years old at this point, which is pretty old as far as computers go, but they're still both working well, except for the display on the 4000, like I mentioned. Overall, I would say that I would prefer the 3800 if I had to pick between these two. The display is definitely a downfall of this one, but I just like the overall design of the 3800 much better than the 4000. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, take it easy.